And do you ever get nervous or lose a word while doing a speech?
I do. I do. The good news for me is that I do it a lot. In fact, today, after I leave here, I have to go up to Capitol Hill, to Congress, and I have to speak to 40 members of Congress, and I have to give them a speech. And then on Friday, I've got to fly to Phoenix, Arizona, and I've got to speak to 500 people. And so I do it a lot. But when I first started doing it, and I think it was in 7th grade, so this is familiar to everybody in that room, when I decided that I was going to run for my student council office. And the first thing you needed to do was just give a speech. And it was hard. I was nervous. I tried to memorize all the lines, and it was really hard for me to work through it. There are a couple of things that I learned about it that I'd like everybody to think about as you encounter this kind of thing. The first thing is, the best kind of speeches, the best kind of communication is when you are just not writing, reading words off of a page, but where you can show the people who you're talking to a little bit about who you are. Because when we listen to people, and you do this with your friends, right? In any communication, sure, you're listening to the words that they're giving, but you're also trying to get a sense of, who they are. Are they being fake? Are they telling the truth? Are they being real in a variety of different ways? And so the first thing for any good presentation to people or a speech is to really be authentic. Be yourself. Find what you're comfortable with. That's the first thing. The second thing that I always try to do is I always try to tell personal stories. Because when you're giving a speech, if people really don't know anything about you, then it's just words, right? It's just some stranger up at the top of the classroom or at the front of the podium who's just giving a speech. And so I try to always tell people a little bit about who I am, because once I do that, it's easier for them to connect. And here's the third thing: practice, practice, practice. I will usually practice a speech 3 or 4 times before I'm ready to give it. And I do it out loud. So sometimes my daughters, I've got 2 girls. I've got a 17-year-old girl and a 10-year-old girl, and especially my 10-year-old, as I'm walking around the house practicing a speech, she's like, "Daddy, why are you talking to nobody?" Which, usually looks pretty funny while I'm just giving a speech in a mirror, but so that's the thing. Be yourself. Make sure you give a personal story so people know who you are, and then really practice so that it just flows more naturally when you're done. Who's next?